The 1960s, the golden age of muscle, the birth of icons, the era where horsepower wasn't just advertised, it was worshipped. Everyone remembers the big names: Mustangs, Camaros, GTOs, Chargers. But here's the truth they never told you. Some of the most powerful, savage cars of that decade weren't muscle cars, weren't flashy, weren't even supposed to be fast, and yet they were absolute monsters. You've been brainwashed to believe speed comes with stripes and scoops, that only the cars in the magazines were fast. But the reality is far more disturbing. Some of the most dangerous cars on the road in the 60s didn't look the part. They wore chrome smiles, fake wood trim, and hubcaps. But under the hood, they were hiding firepower that could blow the doors off real muscle cars. These were the sleepers, cars built quietly, sometimes accidentally, sometimes out of pure rebellion. Cars that didn't want attention, they just wanted to win. And here's where it gets truly wild. Many of these sleepers were faster than the legends, but they were ignored, forgotten, overshadowed by marketing and magazine covers. They didn't look fast, so people refused to believe they were. And that's what made them perfect. Because what's more terrifying than a car you don't see coming? A car that humbles a GTO while looking like it belongs to your grandfather. A car that looks slow, sounds tame, and then leaves you for dead at the light. The 1960s had a secret underground of performance. Not the glamorized showroom cars, but the hidden killers, factory freaks, overlooked beasts, and quiet giants that no one dared to respect. Until now. Because in this video, we're unlocking the vault, revealing the 8 unknown sleeper cars of the 1960s, cars you were never supposed to remember. But once you see what they were capable of, you'll never trust a boring classic again. Let's begin. 1. 1964, Studebaker Daytona R2. Studebaker? You're probably thinking old man car. But in 1964, they dropped a factory supercharged 289 V8 into the Daytona, producing 290 horsepower. That's muscle car territory. Before the GTO even existed, it looked like a plain commuter car, but could run the quarter mile in under 15 seconds. This thing was decades ahead of its image, and nobody respected it. That's exactly why it dominated in silence. 2. 1963, Buick Wildcat 445. The Wildcat looked like a big, soft cruiser, but it packed serious heat. Buick stuffed in a 401 cubic inch nailhead V8 rated at 325 horsepower with gobs of torque. It could absolutely roast its rear tires off the line. Everyone assumed it was just a luxury boat, but it was hiding the heart of a brawler. This was the gentleman's muscle car, before the term even existed. 3. 1962, Dodge Dart 413 Max Wedge. You've never feared a Dart until now. In 1962, Dodge created the Max Wedge package, a high-compression 413 V8 with up to 420 horsepower. Yes, 420 horsepower in a family sedan. This was a full-blown drag car straight from the dealership, hiding in a Dart's body. The Max Wedge could dust Corvettes, but looked like a mailman's ride. It wasn't a car, it was a trap. 4. 1965 Rambler Marlin 327 V8. The Marlin was AMC's attempt at sporty, but it didn't catch on visually. Too weird, too heavy, too different. But under the hood, you could get a 327 Typhoon V8, making up to 270 horsepower. And here's the twist. Thanks to its low weight and gearing, it could move. It never earned respect in its time, but it deserved fear. Because if you underestimated it, you lost. 5. 1966, Ford Fairlane GT390. Most people ignored the Fairlane, overshadowed by the Mustang. But the GT version came with a 390 cubic inch V8, making 335 horsepower. This thing was a street sleeper built to go toe-to-toe with GTOs. It didn't scream for attention, it just took it off the line. If you lined up against one thinking it was just another mid-size Ford, you were done. 6. 1969, Mercury Marauder X100 Massive, heavy, quiet. but the X100 version packed a 429 Cobra Jet V8 with 360 horsepower. This car was a hammer, luxury looks, muscle guts. It was meant for executives who wanted to go fast without the flash. It didn't look like a street racer, but it had enough torque to break the Earth's crust. 7. 1967 Plymouth Belvedere GTX. The GTX was called the gentleman's muscle car, but the Belvedere version was the most deceptive. With a 440 Super Commando V8 or optional 426 HEMI, it looked like a bland mid-size car, but it could run 0 to 60 in under 6 seconds. That was insane for the time. It looked safe. It was not. You never saw it coming. And that was the whole point. 8. 1968 Oldsmobile Delmont 88 45.5. You wouldn't glance twice at a Delmont, but inside, a 455 cubic inch rocket V8 with 365 horsepower and monstrous torque. It was a torque monster wrapped in grandpa clothing. People assumed it was a gentle cruiser, but give it a green light and it launched like a missile. This was Oldsmobile's middle finger to the idea that sleepers can't be savage. Now you know. The 1960s weren't just about Mustangs and Chargers. The real killers wore chrome, wood trim, and polite smiles. Which one shocked you the most? Drop your pick in the comments. And remember, in the world of classic cars, the quiet ones were often the deadliest.